saving history. I'm SCdigger and welcome back to the Relic Room. Got a full show for you tonight. At the very end of tonight's episode, we're going to announce the winner of the Teknetics folding shovel, so that's coming up at the end. But what we're going to focus on tonight in the Relic Room is how to make a great metal detecting video. Now, I put up my first video back in 2005-2006, and at the time there was probably maybe 5 or 6 people actually putting videos up. I think I remember there was a fellow named Gary Brunn who still puts up occasional videos. The fellow who kind of inspired me was a guy that went by MudSlideSlim. And he was videoing early. He had the hat-mounted digital camera, big old thing. But you know, with my background in mass communications and my love for history and relic hunting, I said I can do that. And so I set out on a journey that has brought us to today, and hopefully I can share some information with you today to help you in producing better metal detecting videos. As I started putting this video together, I surveyed several of the very high-profile, high-subscriber metal detecting YouTubers out there to get their input on what makes great metal detecting videos. And I'm very grateful for the responses that I got from several that I can provide to you based on their experience. So I want to give great thanks to Deep Digger Dan, come on, get in, and also Charlie Ronayne from the Stealth Diggers for providing their input on what makes great metal detecting videos. So, I've boiled it down to basically 4 points, and what I call these are the 4 C's of making good metal detecting videos. Those 4 C's being camera, content, composition, and character. So if we can focus on these 4 areas, hopefully your videos will be even better. Okay, let's start with camera. Probably one of the best investments you can make if you're planning on being a YouTuber and putting your metal detecting videos out there on the web for everybody to see is a good camera. But you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do that. There's a lot of affordable options. Now, the very first videos that I was putting up on YouTube, I was actually using a digital SLR to do that. But, I mean, this is obviously big, it's clunky, and it's not what you would want to really carry out in the field to video hunts. The next camera that I used after that was this JVC hard disk drive camera, and you see how it allows you to open up the screen. You can turn the screen to you. It even had really good close-up, a macro setting, but it wasn't high definition. The camera, actually I just looked this one up, and you can get these cameras for less than $100 on Amazon and eBay. But the camera that I'm using now, that I'm talking to you through, is a Sony Handycam, and it looks pretty much just like this one. And it allows you to flip the screen around. It records in high definition. It records to the hard drive in the camera, but it's got an awesome macro or close-up feature. And again, just looking them up a few minutes ago, they can actually be had in the $200 range. I know a lot of people utilize GoPros. I think they serve their purpose in certain situations, but honestly, I don't think the GoPro is a great relic hunting camera, simply because it doesn't have great close-up. You go to try to get a real good macro close-up shot of something, it gets out of focus. And honestly, if we can't see what you just dug, your viewers are really not going to care. It's great for B-roll. If you're trying to just get footage of walking or settings and things like that, the GoPro works. But what I would encourage you to do is to put it on the medium width setting versus the wide, because the wide gives you that fisheye look, and that's also kind of weird for people to look at. So you know, you have to play with the settings so you get that right. And we'll readdress the GoPro here in just a minute. Of course, another thing, people using their cell phones. Certainly utilizing your iPhone or your Galaxy or whatever phone you have is an option as well. We just got some issues to deal with the telephone as well as we go through today. Content. You have to have something to show. People tune into your videos to see the finds. That's the number one thing that they're looking for. Honestly, they don't want to watch a 15-minute video of people digging iron, pull tabs, shotgun shells, mason jar lids, scrap pieces of brass. You've got to not be afraid to scrap video. What I mean by that is just because you go out and go on a hunt doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the content to show anything that anybody's going to want to see. You cannot imagine the number of hunts that I've been on that you never saw because I didn't dig anything. That was something, kind of a pledge I made back when I started this thing, that I wasn't going to put up a video unless I had something to show. And you know, I put up the Sharecropper's House video a week or two ago, kind of to make that point. I went out in the field for a hunt with the sole purposes of the fact that I was going to put a video out no matter what I dug. And at the end, what did I have? A bunch of crap. It was, I mean, the video was interesting because I was digging and stuff, but at the end, I didn't have anything but trash to show. So when it comes to your content, you've got to make sure you show us the finds and, you know, cut out the unnecessary trash. It's okay if every once in a while you want to show a good find just for reality's sake, but everybody knows that we all dig trash. You might want to show, as far as content goes, a little bit of the site where you're hunting if it doesn't give away too much. And you might want to show yourself a little bit because, well, it's about personalities here. The whole thing when it comes down to content for your video is you want to tell a story, okay? Yes, the finds are there, but if you can build up a story and you can kind of, you know, climax it through the end where it kind of sounds complete, then that's going to make a much more effective video. Also, when it comes to content, edit. There's no need for us to sit here and watch you dig a hole for 5 minutes until you finally find the target. Get rid of all that unnecessary time wasting. You know, live digs are great. You know, I'm all for a live dig, but in the end, if it turns out to be nothing, edit it out. Get rid of it and move on. So cut out a lot of the unnecessary digging holes and searching through the pile with the pinpointer. Kind of get to the point. One of the points I want to make out of this in terms of talking about editing is some statistics that YouTube puts out. One, viewer retention runs right about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Meaning, if you haven't gotten our attention by then, they're going to tune out. So if you're going to put up a 20 or 30 minute epic, it better have good content. Another statistic they put out is that the majority of viewers tune out somewhere between 50 and 60%. That's an average. They tune out after 50 to 60% of the video. So yeah, some are staying through to the end, but some are, you know, cutting out even earlier than that. But if you've got something really important to say or something really important to show, do it early in the video. Another thing, get rid of the 60-second, 90-second, even 2-minute long introductions at the beginning of your video. I know, we want everybody to know who we are and what the name of our series is. That's great. But once we've seen your introduction once, now it's just kind of in the way of seeing the rest of the video. I'm guilty of it. I admit it. I would spend a lot of time creating these long, epic introductions, and eventually I got tired of watching it. So keep your intros short, get to the hunt. B-roll. Those are those little shots of you walking across the field, swinging your detector, walking down the dirt road to the hunt site, some beautiful scenery around the hunt area. That's okay, but keep it short and keep it limited because people want to get to the hunt. Composition. Now, composition has to do with your camera shot. What are we looking at on the screen? Not necessarily what the find is, but how it looks to us. First thing that I've got to get off my chest about composition is vertical video. If you are shooting your hunts with your cell phone, your iPhone for example, you have got to take that thing and turn it sideways. It comes down to vertical video. vertical video is a disease. Vertical video syndrome is what we can call this. We are not designed to view things vertically. Our TV screens are horizontal. Our computer screens are horizontal. Movie theater screens are horizontal. Our eyes are horizontal. So unless you're this guy, vertical video just doesn't make any sense. It's uncomfortable to look at, and besides, you don't get the whole picture. It's much more pleasing to see all the surroundings around you. So first and foremost, get rid of the vertical video. Camera angles, you got to think about, that we can actually see what you're doing. It's important that as you start to take a look at getting close-ups, if your camera doesn't have a good macro setting for close-ups, you're best off just not try to zoom in on them at all.
Would you look at that? That has got to be probably the best coin I've ever dug.
Because it's going to be more frustrating for your viewers to be looking at a fuzzy, blurry what's it, even though it might be the best find you've ever made. But if we can't tell what it is, that close-up is not going to be any good. And it just kind of looks, well, it looks kind of cheap. So make sure the camera you get has a good macro setting so that you can get a good close-up for us. You also need to make sure you get close enough so that we actually can see your find.
That is amazing. Would you look at that? That has got to be the best coin I've ever dug.
There's been a lot of times where I've seen videos where the find comes out of the hole and the person even reaches down and picks it up, but it's so far away that we can't even tell what it is. So make sure that you get good close-ups if the camera does that. You also need to make sure you keep the camera still.
This is unbelievable. I cannot believe what I have just found. You guys are going to be amazed at this. Take a look at this. This has got to be probably one of the best things that I have ever dug. Oh my goodness.
Not that it means you have to take a tripod out in the field with you everywhere you go, although it's a good idea if you plan to do any of those types of shots. But be very mindful about holding the camera still. When you go to move it, move the camera slow, okay? It's easier for us to follow. If we've got to take Dramamine to watch your video, that's probably not a good thing. So think about the camera shot when it comes to composition. Character. This was an area that both Charlie and Dan focused on when it came to creating good, effective YouTube videos. They both basically talked about being yourself. Yes, we may watch your video once, but what keeps people coming back again and again is your personality. We feel like you know you. We're joining you on your hunt. So, as Dan says, don't be afraid to be yourself. If you've got to edit stuff out because you feel like it looks goofy, you can do that later. But he talks about people want to know who you are. Same thing as Charlie said. He said that be yourself, but think before you speak. You have to kind of plan out the shot, but personality is important. Now, I don't want you to get out there and either one sound like you're a goofball. That's not what we're talking about. But at the same time, we don't want you to seem so bored and stoic that you're really not enjoying yourself very much. So the area of being yourself, that may be hard for some people. It's kind of putting yourself out there because you're putting yourself out there in front of the world for us to see. So you've got to kind of temper that a little bit. It takes a while to get comfortable with it. But once you do it a little bit, you're going to find that you're going to become the personality of your videos, and hopefully we'll enjoy coming back and seeing that again and again. So hopefully those tips right there give you a little bit of insight as to what makes a good, effective metal detecting video. Hopefully I can eventually provide you with a little bit more detail later on. I'm thinking about actually writing an article for one of the detecting industry magazines, and that way I can actually provide more detail that both Charlie and Dan provided in their comments. So, Now for the winner of our contest. And Shih Tzu Essie, she wanted to help us give this prize away. Of course, if you remember, we're giving away a Teknetics folding shovel. That was courtesy of Teknetics metal detectors. And what I had you do was basically post a number between 1 and 500. And using random.org, I produced a number that hopefully related to one of the winners, and I went ahead and did that prior to shooting the video because I knew it was going to be a while. I had to go through and find the actual winner. The number that random.org gave me was 115. 115, and Doug Money Detecting was the winner. And so if you will email me your address at the email address in the description below, we'll get this prize right out to you. Now, we've got other things to give away here over the next few weeks, and I hope you keep coming back to the Relic Room and have your chance to win some great prizes and hopefully learn some more things about our little corner of the metal detecting world. So, for Saving History, I'm SCdigger. This is Essie. Thanks for coming to the Relic Room.